me again, guys. It's Janae, and you can see here tonight we're painting this really cute splash from Diverse Woodworking. Instead of it just being a splash of paint, I've gone ahead and chalked out a glass of milk, and we're going to have a cookie coming down into our milk and splashing out everywhere. So it's just a simple design, and I've just chalked it on so we can tweak it any way we want to. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get started thinning down a little bit of this white. I don't want it to be a super thick layer of white, so I'm going to add some water, some nice clean water, and that way we don't have a tint to it. And I'm just going to paint these different areas of the splash because we know that's going to be milk. And I'm going to follow along my chalk outline and paint all these little areas that are supposed to be a yummy splash of milk. I'm not doing anything super fancy. It's just a first coat of white. You guys go ahead and you can start working on your white. And while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and give you an idea of what we're going to do the rest of the way. So after we're done painting this white area, we're going to come in and paint our cookie, and it's going to be a chocolate chip cookie. So it's going to be brown with some darker brown chocolate chips. And then we're going to come in and paint the milk in our glass, and it's going to be a see-through glass, so you'll be able to see the cookie dipping into the milk. It's going to be really, really cute. And then we're going to paint the outside edges behind our glass. It's going to be red, so like a Santa Claus red. And I'm going to put on here, I do believe, cookies from Santa, or cookies for Santa, something like that. So you guys go ahead, finish up your white areas, and we'll meet back in just a little bit and we'll move on to the next step. So don't forget to fill in the bottom of your cup of milk. It's a glass of milk so you can see through it. So this is all the milk you can see, and we're just going to fill this area in with white. And then I'm going to try to bring it up to the top of the glass and let it meet our other milk splashes so it'll look like it's splashing out of the cup. Let's fill this in first, and then we'll work our way back up to the top. Okay, so now we've got our glass of milk filled in, and we're not going to fill it all the way up to the top. We're just going to bring some of these edges over to the top. We're just going to bring right here to this white milk up to the top of that glass. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. And I want to be able to see the cookie, so that's why I'm trying to decide the best way to fill in this milk area. There we go. I think that's going to work. So now I need to decide what I'm going to paint next, and I believe I'm going to paint the cookie, and it's going to be like a chocolate chip cookie. So I'm going to pick up some white and some brown. Grab a little bit of this. I should have picked up white first, I guess, but Just grab a scoop of brown, bring it over here and grab some more white. We're going to lighten that up a little bit. It might be a little too light, I'm not sure. We'll just cover it first, and if we don't like it, we cover it with the next coat. Alright, so we're just filling this in, covering the whole cookie area. I wasn't real happy with that that line where the milk and the cookies met, so I just went ahead and painted over it, and then I'll fix it better here in a few minutes. Make sure we get a nice crisp edge for our cookie. And it's a little lopsided cookie, but that's okay. So we'll just come right here and fix it. We'll pick up that little brush and we'll give ourselves our outline, and then we'll fill in that messed up part with white. For the meantime, we're going to let that dry, and I'm trying to decide what to do next. This is going to be a part of our cookie. I think I'm going to give up on that, mixing the color. I went ahead and just picked up, I believe this color is actually called melted chocolate, so it's actually perfect for the chocolate chips. And I'm just going to come in here with this brush and make random little circles, little shapes that would be chocolate chips. And you can see I'm not working too hard at it. I'm just doing a little bit here and there. You don't want them to be perfect circles. You want them to be a little bit lumpy bumpy like a chocolate chip cookie would look. Some are going to be bigger, some are going to be fat and skinny, you know, just all kinds of different. It's already looking like a chocolate chip cookie. Look how cute this thing is. I love it. So I'm going to let that area over there dry some more because I think I'm still not settled on how I'm going to fix it, so I'm just going to let it dry. So now this is going to be like a little bit more of the top of our cookie, you know, like in between the chocolate chips, how you sometimes have a little bit of details and things around the cookie, little crumbles. I'm just trying to figure out a good color to use to give it a little bit of that dimension. You don't want it to be a totally flat color. So as you can see here, it's just a shade darker than our base coat. And I've got it on this flat brush, and I'm just dabbing in different directions. You see how I'm changing that brush direction with almost every dab. I know it's probably a little difficult for you guys to see right now, but once this dries, it's going to be an adorable cookie, and you're going to see all of those little crumbles. It's going to be a little bit more realistic looking. Just keep twisting that brush because you want all this to be a little randomized. You don't want it to be all exact and everything with the same pattern. Just keep twisting, twisting, twisting. And always feel like you can load your brush at any time. And obviously when you first load your brush, you're going to get a lot more paint. And then as you keep dabbing, it's going to be much lighter paint. So that's going to be giving you a little bit of a detail too. I hope you guys are doing okay. I'm thinking this is looking really cute. And it's just so easy. Just dab, 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 dab. All the way across in all these little nooks and crannies. Anywhere you see that maybe you missed something, just go back over it real quick. Alright, look at that chocolate chip cookie. So now, I'm going to pick up a little bit of this on a liner brush. And I'm going to try to make a few little lines throughout the cookie. Because you know, these cookies, they have all these little lines where they were baked and they started to fluff up, and they have these little lines in between the cookie, the chocolate chips. There's no rhyme or reason, just a little zigzag here and there. Oh, my cookie's looking pretty tasty. I hope you guys are doing okay. And we'll come back around this cookie in just a few minutes and add a little something extra to finish it off. But right now, it's turning out great. Can you guys see that? Look how cool that looks. It turned out really good. I'm super excited about that. Alright, so now this is dry. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna fix my little oops. Smooth out my cookie. Now I'm gonna paint over this cookie a little bit. You can see right there where I started to paint over it a little bit, but I'm going to do it with some really thin down white because I want to be able to see the cookie through the milk. I'm going to need to make sure that's dry first. I'm picking up my white and a little tiny bit of black just to give it the tiniest bit of shading. We're just going to go over these little areas of our milk with a little bit of gray, and then we'll come back in and put some white over top of it and it'll blend beautifully. See, look how pretty. It's already looking great. And I know milk is white, but we wanted to add a little bit of shadowing in here just to give it a little bit more pizzazz. Look, I love it. And look how light my gray is. It's really, really light. It looks really dark compared to the white, but the gray is actually very light. And we're blending it really good, so it's not any harsh lines. It's really blended and it's looking really pretty. So we're just going to keep on doing what we're doing, and we're going to keep adding a little bit of shading into the milk, and we're going to bring that on down into the glass as well. So you guys just keep working on your shading and stay close by. Follow right along with me, and I'll meet back up with you in a few minutes. So we're done with all of our shading. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this cookie is good and dry, all the brown, because I'm fixing to paint over it with a really thin layer of white. It's going to be really transparent because I want to see the cookie underneath, but I definitely don't want it to blend and spread the brown. So we're going to make sure it's dry. Then we're going to take this brush and we're just going to sweep over it really lightly over this cookie. Give it the different shapes that we want, like we're dipping it in the milk. I want to be able to see it through the milk. Look how adorable that is. I know with my lighting it's a little hard to see, but once it's dry you're going to be able to see it much better. And you can just make it as thick or as thin as you want and as transparent as you'd like. Now I'm going up here and just using that same brush, that same transparent paint, and going over making a rim for our glass. Alright you guys, we're really close to done with that cookie. So now I'm going to let all that dry and I'm going to come over here and get some bright red, some pretty Christmas red to do on the background of our glass. May have to do a couple coats just because this red's a little transparent, but look how pretty that looks. I absolutely love it. So now that we're done with this red, we'll come back in a minute and add some black outlines. Okay guys, now I'm picking up this liner brush and I'm going to make some really thin black paint just so it'll flow off of my brush wheel. I'm going to roll the brush around and get a nice tip, and then I'm going to come in and start giving these areas some black finishing touches. And all I'm doing is a little black wispy here and there, and it's not very detailed. I'm not trying to make sure each line's exactly perfect and that they're all connected and exactly straight. I'm just adding a few here and there to give this a finished look. Anything that you do and you don't like, you can just paint over. So that top line of the top of that line I didn't like, so I just fixed it up. And now I'm just adding a few more here and there just to give our milk a little outline. See, that line got a little weird. Ugh, I don't know what I did there. So we'll just have to fix it. Smooth it out. I'm trying to do this without resting my hands, so that makes it a little tricky. But look at that, how cute that looks. That milk's just splashing out everywhere. I think this is such a fun idea. I think the kids are going to love it too. give our cookie an outline. And then we're going to come in here with this little bit right here, like it's dipping into the milk. And then outline our glass. Look how cute that is, you guys. Alright, so we'll give a little wisp at the bottom, and that really does finish it out very nicely. Go ahead and do the rim of my glass. And we'll do this little strip of chocolate of milk, our little strip of milk. Look, I think that's so cute. I love it. And then I'm going to come around here with a little tiny liner brush and give those chocolate tips just a little bit of a highlight here and there. Just to tie them in, give them a finished look like the rest of it. It's amazing what a little black outline or a little white highlight can do for your painting. Alright, you guys, we're done with the highlights. Now, let's see. We got to decide what we're going to write on it. Look how cute. Hope you guys can see that okay. So I think what I'm going to write on it is cookies for Santa or something along those lines. So you'll see here I'm picking up a very tiny angle brush and I'm just going to write it in my own handwriting. These angle brushes work wonderful for lettering because it gives you some nice edges. And it's always easier to do downstrokes when you're painting words and letters. So each letter, you'll notice that I do a downstroke and then I pick up more paint. And I'll try to do all the different parts of the letter as a downstroke. Cookies, look how cute. And then 4. Look how cute this is looking. So how cute would this look sitting out with a little tray of cookies beside it for Santa on Christmas? How are y'all guys doing with your lettering? If you're having trouble, you can it's easiest to use a filbert brush, which is the round edge flat brush, or one of these angle brushes. They always work great for me. Alright, there you have it, you guys. We're all done. Thanks so much for watching. I hope it helped, and I hope you enjoy sitting out your cookies for Santa. We'll see you next time. Thanks.